Hello everyone, in this lesson we are going to revisit angles and circles for your review for your Unit 6 test. So let's just quickly go over your vocab because you should already have this in your notes. So over here on this left-hand circle we have a chord, and that's this guy right here. So a chord is a line segment which has endpoints that are on the circle. And you already know what diameter and radius are, but just so you know, a diameter is a special kind of chord because it has these endpoints that are on the circle, and it just happens to go through the center point. And this guy down here, this one is called a secant. It is a line that cuts the circle into two pieces. It doesn't have to be right down the center, even though it could go right down the center if it wanted to, but it's a line compared to a line segment for the chords and diameters and radiuses. Okay, so let's move over here to the right hand side. We get a tangent. Well, that's this guy right here. A tangent is another line, not a line segment, that just touches the circle at one point. And then we have an arc over here. This is highlighted in green, and this one's called a minor arc, because as you see, this angle right here, which arcs are formed by angles intercepting them, this angle cuts the circle into two arcs, this smaller one and this bigger one. So we have to separate those out. So we call the minor arc the smaller one, and that's usually denoted by two letters. And then we have this arc right here. That's how we denotate an arc. And then we have a major arc, which typically is denoted by three letters. They'll usually throw this other point out here so that you know that, oh, well, where am I going? Am I going this way or am I going this way? All right, so we got the three tools that we need to find angles and circles. And they are right down here. If you remember, we have our central angle, which up here in this circle up here, we have a perfect example of the central angle. And that is at the vertex is at the center of the circle, hence central angle. And we know that the central angle is equal to the arc that intercepts. So in this one up here, this angle right here, typically denoted as theta, would be equal to the arc measure out here. All right. And then we have our two other ones. We have an inscribed angle, which will look something like this. And we have that. There we go. So this would be an inscribed angle. And this angle, oops, yep, that angle right there in blue would be equal to this arc. Now, excuse me, not equal to, it would be 1/2 of the arc that it intercepts. So this guy is 1/2 of this guy. And then we have a chord and a tangent, which is also a 1/2 relationship with the arc that it intercepts. And this, again, the vertex is on the circle for this one. Just like in the inscribed angle, the vertex is on the circle. Same thing with our chord and our tangent. So we have a chord and intersecting a tangent. So this angle right here is going to be equal to, or excuse me, 1/2 of the arc that it intercepts, which starts here and goes to there. Okay, so this blue part right here is going to be 1/2 the arc measure from here to there. Okay, all right. Well, then how do we go through and find these angles? Well, here's an example. So we have this in this example, we have intersecting chords. And you can tell because it makes an X. Oops, excuse me. It makes an X in here. So how do we do this? We need to draw one auxiliary line to create one triangle, and it's also going to create some other things. So we're going to draw auxiliary line. If you remember, I'm going to draw it right here. And it doesn't matter if you draw it from B to C. It does not matter. So we see that we have created one auxiliary line, and we've created one triangle right here. What we've also created is a couple of inscribed angles. We have ADB, which intercepts arc AB, and we know that inscribed angles are half of the arc that it intercepts, so therefore ADB must be 30 degrees. And we've also created another inscribed angle, DAC, which cuts off arc DC. Okay, and so since this is 80, DAC must be 40. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can either find this third angle of this triangle right here, which would be 180. So you would have 180 minus 30 plus 40, which is 180 minus 70, which equals 110. So this guy is 110. And then you could see that the angle x that we want is a linear pair with this. So you would just subtract 110 from 180 and get 70. So then we would do 180 minus 110, excuse me, minus 110, and we get 70. Or you can just do the exterior angle theorem, which says that this angle right here, which is an exterior angle of this triangle right here, is equal to the sum of the two remote angles, or the two other angles that it's not close to, inside the triangle. And we already know that that's 40 and 30. We just found that out. So you can just say that x is equal to 30 plus 40, which is equal to 70. All right. So now we've got intersecting secants. Secants, these are lines, not line segments. So we need to draw one auxiliary line, and we need to draw it from either from B to E, or you can do it from D to A. I'm going to choose to leave it at from B to E just because this triangle that I've made, one auxiliary line, one triangle, is like right side up to me. So that's what I'm going to leave it as. So I drew my auxiliary line, and now I've created my triangle, and now I've also created inscribed angles, EBA, which cuts off AE, which I know is 100, so therefore this is half of that. So this is 50. Okay, now what I can do is I can realize that this other side right here, from the red line over to there, is a linear pair with 50 degrees. So this other side over here, that angle right there, or the top angle of my triangle that I created, is 180 minus 50, which is 130. 130 degrees. Now I need to worry about BED, which cuts off this arc right here, BD, which is 40. So therefore this guy is half of that, which is 20. So this guy over here is 20 degrees. Now I can easily find x because I found the other two angles of my triangle sum theorem, which states that I've got to take 180 minus 130 plus 20, which is 180 minus 150, which equals 30 degrees. There you go. Alrighty, last one here. We've got intersecting secants and tangents. Again, this one you just want one auxiliary line to create one triangle. And we're going to go from the tangent point to the far secant point. Okay, so we've created our triangle DAB. We've also created some inscribed angles. We've created dA, let's call it x out here. This is a tangent and a chord, which is 1/2 of the arc that it intercepts, which is dA. So therefore, this guy out here, that angle right there is half of 150, which is 75 degrees. And then I can find the other side of angle A up here, which is the top side of my triangle that I created. And that guy is going to be a linear pair with the 75 degrees. So you take 180 minus 175, and you get 105. All right. I've also created an inscribed angle ADC, which cuts off AC here, which is 80. So I know this is half of that, which is 40 degrees. And again, just like the example above, I can do my triangle sum theorem, which is 180 minus 105 plus 40, which is 180 minus 145. And when you put that into your trusty calculator, you get 35 degrees. All right, and that's it. So take a look back at your notes, use this video as supplementary to that or as a quick refresher, and you should be good to go for the practices. As always, be safe and be healthy. I will see you next time, guys. Bye.